Welcome back to our screen printing series. This is going to be part 2, image separation. We're going to go over manually separating the colors for the transparencies, and then I'm going to show you real quick how we do separations using Simple Steps 3 from Advanced Artist. Okay, now we have our image and we're ready to do the color separations. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the t-shirt because we're not going to need it for this process. So just click it and delete it, and then we're going to highlight or select our whole image. And this is the image that we're going to end up color separating. So you notice down at the bottom left here, we're on page 1. We want to create 2 more pages. One's going to be for the white screen and one's going to be for our red screen. Okay, so here's our image. We want to resize it before we even start anything. So I know that I want the image to be 10 inches across, so up here on the top left, make sure our proportions are locked. We're going to click over here and put 10 inches. Hit enter and it will resize for us. Now this is the size of the image that we're going to actually be printing out. It's going to be 10 inches by 12.5 inches long. Alright, so let's go ahead and group everything so it stays together. And now we're going to manually create some registration marks. To do this, we're just going to use a font and use the plus symbol. So click your font tool, click on top of the A, hit plus, and if you zoom in, you can see we made a small plus symbol. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that, right click, and convert it to curves, and then we're going to make it just a little bit bigger. We'll make it a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. So at the top, we can change the size here and put 0.25, enter, and it'll change it to a 1/4 inch plus sign. And we want to bring it off of the A just a little bit. So now we can select our image with the plus sign and center it by hitting C on the keyboard. See, it's centered to the whole image, not necessarily just the A. We want to grab our plus sign again, hit Control C to copy it, Control V to paste, and we'll put our bottom one in right about here, and then we'll hit everything again and hit C to center it. And there you have it. Now we need to do our side plus sign. So highlight the top one again, Control C, Control V, drag it down to the side, and then we'll hit Control C, Control V again to copy that one, bring it straight across from it. And then what we're going to do for these two is we're going to select them both, and we're going to hit B, and that's going to line up the bottom of each plus sign to each other. Then we're going to right click and group those two marks together, and then we're going to hold shift and click the A. So now we've got the 2 plus signs and the A selected, and we're going to hit C to center those plus signs with the A. Now we want to center them top to bottom as well, so we'll hit E and it'll center it on our image top to bottom. So there we have the image with our registration marks we're going to use. So what we want to do now is highlight everything, Control C, go over to page 2, hit Control V, and then page 3, hit Control V. So now we have our 3 pages exactly the same. For page 2, let's go ahead and rename our page 2, because the way this print's going to be, we're going to want to create an underbase. We're going to want to print all white, and then we're going to want to print red on top of it for it to look good on that blue shirt. So on the Object Manager, you want to right click page 2, go ahead and hit rename page, and we'll call it underbase. Hit OK. And then let's go ahead and rename page 3 while we're at it. Right click page 3, hit rename, and we'll call that red because that's going to be our red screen. Hit OK. So go back to our underbase page down here at the bottom left, and we want everything to be white basically that we're going to print. So we'll click our A, hit ungroup, so we can work with all the individual pieces. Now it's important here that we don't move any of the pieces, and we want the red to be black, we want our outline to be black, and we want 2013 and Cubs all to be black. Now this is going to be our underbase. That is ready to go. Why do we have a plus sign down here? We don't need that. Just go ahead and delete it. Now we want to go to our red page, and this is going to be the screen we're making just to print the color red. So we want everything to be white like it already is. We'll click the A, the image here, ungroup it, and just the red curve, that's just the A, we want to be black, because that is what we're going to print with our red. So there's the original Cubs image with the white for the white underbase, and then here's our red. Now we want to, if you want to double check to make sure it's going to work out correctly, you can just highlight or select everything you have on page 3, Control C to copy it, go back to your underbase page and hit Control V, and it lays right on top. See how we have a little edge here? That's going to be fine for this image, because we're not, the A when we print the red is actually going to make our words look how they're supposed to. It's going to make our U look correct. It's going to make our 2 look correct. Typically what you would do on a different type of job, you would lay down your white underbase, put all your colors on top, and then at the very end you'd come back and lay another coat of white for just your image, so you have it nice and thick on your shirt so it looks real good. So we'll go ahead and hit Control Z 2 times, get that out of there. So now we have our 3 pages. This is just our front page. We're not going to print that, we don't need to, but we are going to print our underbase, and then we're going to print our red screen. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to save our work. So we'll go to Save As, and we'll just call this Cubs Front Separation and hit Save. And then to print, we just simply go to File, Print, come down. I use a Canon printer. We'll come down, select our printer, and we'll go to Separations, deselect magenta, deselect yellow, and we're just wanting to print black. And let's go ahead and see what the issue is with this one. It doesn't fit on the media, no big deal. Hit Apply, go to Print Preview. Oh, you can see our pages aren't tall enough. That's the problem. Okay, so we can fix that. Go to File, Settings, General. These are our print settings once again. We'll hit Preferences for our printer, and we'll change the paper size to 13 by 19. Hit OK, apply those changes, hit OK again, and there we go. Okay, so here we have it. We're ready to print our screens. We just click File, print this sheet now, and then I don't have my printer on, but if you did, you could start printing. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel printing. Now, as I mentioned before, there's another way we can separate it, and it's using a separation program. And I have one, it's called Simple Steps 3. It's through Advanced Artist. They make it. I use this one all the time. I prefer this over doing it manually. So this is how we're going to use it. It's real quick. We're going to go to Color Management, make sure our image is selected, click Create Selection Palette. We're going to select both colors, which is going to be red, white, and we'll do one-click conversion. And all that's going to do is make them Pantone colors. Then we click Separations, and we don't raster type, we don't want to do halftones or anything, so we'll leave it at none. We want to create an underbase, so we'll go to Generate Underbase, and we don't need a choke or anything for this image. This will work perfectly. And all you do now is hit Generate Separations, and then all the hard work is done for you. It creates the registration marks, creates your underbase, creates your Pantone red, which is going to be our red screen, and it creates our transparent white. Like I said earlier, that would be the third screen to print over to make the white more crisp, but we don't need to do that for this type of screen print. We can just print a nice underbase, then put red on top, and it'll turn out perfectly. Thank you for finishing part 2. Next will be part 3, inside the darkroom where we're going to actually make the images on the screens on the light box, and we will also spray them out.